casting started with Hugh Keays-Byrne. Really huge guy with a sort of a blue singlet and some beads and sort of like the sort of samurai top knot, you know, and big arms and sort of the hippie pants. You know, and somebody said, Hugh Keays-Byrne's there and he's going to play the toe cutter. And I introduced myself and said, my name's Tim Burns and I'm going to play Johnny the boy, you know. And he grabs my face, he says, Johnny the boy. And that's the first time I ever met him, you know.
I mean, Hugh was a very strong presence. I mean, you remember, he was, the guy was like, bang, you know. And he'd done a lot of work. I'd seen him on stage in a production of a Streetcar, I think it was. He was playing Stanley Kowalski. He fucking had a lot of power.
He'd been out here with the RSC, I think, Peter Brook's company, and very, very, very seasoned, fabulous performer.
I never even heard of Hugh Keays-Byrne. And then I was told Shakespeare Company, blah, blah, blah. And so I was watching this guy during the shoot because I was right there, and he was good, like he was good. He looked right, and he looked mean.
He was a real leader, you know, and he had a lot of sway.
Oh, Hugh was fabulous. He's such a giving actor. He's really brilliant. He just made it so easy.
Even though he's quite a sort of fearsome character, you know, it's also a great comic performance.
Right there! I hate gun.
So as soon as you've got Hugh Keays-Byrne, then things change. You're throwing a kind of unpredictability into the mix. And at one stage, he had to ask the grease rat, which was Nick, where's the bronze, I think, you know, which way did he head? And they were doing some lines and he couldn't work out like whether it was his turn to speak, and he said the grease rat would not stop speaking, so he grabbed him by the nose.
Who are they?
A couple. Passing through. Said they were heading north, maybe.
I was so glad that somebody was doing something that wasn't predictable.
What a wonderful philosophy you have.
George said it. I think you might be okay for Bubba Zanetti. And I thought, is that one role or two? I thought it was Bubba and Zanetti. And I couldn't work it out. I said, must be play two roles? I said, okay. I'll tell you how to get a character like that is to get the outfit. So as soon as I got that woman's black top and put it on, I knew I had him. Like someone gave me a necklace, and I thought that's even better. No more than that. That's all you needed.
The gibberish was basically what George called word salad.
Run! Hey! Go get you!
And it was like a sort of like a radio that you would switch from station to station to station.
Right out of his skull, man! Woo!
That like it didn't have a consistency of meaning.
You're going to waste the bronze. You gotta do it big!
His mind was like a couch with the springs out, you know.
George, you know, I think this guy, he's got these three lines, but I actually think he'd just make animal noises. And George said, oh, yeah, you're probably right, Howard.
That was the part of that role that I really, really relished, was the stuff with Mudguts.
Purely ad lib. There and then, no rehearsals. George said, do it. I said, do what?
There was a whole sort of slapstick comedy routine that Brax and I did, which was kind of almost like the calling card of these two lieutenants.
Oh, push me, shove you. Oh, yeah, says how.
It really had that energy of the moment. And of course, improvisation is what that's all about. It's sort of the magic that comes out of the moment. And I think a lot of the film had that.
George was just really open. He was like a child in one sense. He was just saying, I got this idea, how can you colour it for me? What colours do you want to use?
He completely gave you the impression that you were doing the right thing.
You could say that everyone had freedom, but a good director knows where you're going to take it.
The only way we could do this scene was to actually walk out to sea.
We had to be in the water to be in the light. So that's how we ended up in the water in terms of artistic decisions.
Hugh is telling me something that I've got to do. It's okay. And he sticks a rifle in my mouth. And I remember cut the inside of my mouth and he was sort of turning it. Not too badly, but enough to make it painful.
All of that sort of stuff is spur of the moment.
You know, I didn't anticipate playing that scene standing in the middle of the sea with a rifle in my mouth.
You could have planned that in your head, sitting at home reading the script. I'm going to be saying this in a car with somebody on the beach or whatever. The next minute you walk into the waters.
It's better that you know who you are when you do that scene, you know. And with people like Hugh, you can let them give you stuff, you know, and as long as you're listening, as long as you're alive, then what you'll do will be the right thing. There's all different people coming in for a couple of days, but what they did was, you know, give it something. They'd like come up with whatever they could. Somebody would bring in a prop like a samurai sword and a face mask. The grease rat would bring the rat. He turned up, he looked like a rat. How did all these things happen? It was because George and Byron created a situation in which people's imagination was valued.